With huge animatronic dinosaurs and the latest technology in a brand new park, Jurassic World Adventure might just be the most incredible ride Universal's ever created. And we've just got a great look at what it looks like inside. Hi guys, Gio here for Independent Guides. A little over a month ago now, I released a video previewing Universal Studios Beijing. And in that video, I said I was most excited for the Jurassic World area of the park. This time I want to do a dive into one of the rides in that land and what undoubtedly will be one of the flagship rides of the resort. I'm talking about Jurassic World Adventure. Over the past few weeks and months, there have been quite a few leaks from the inside of the park, so we're going to be taking a look at those and what we can expect on this brand new ride. Firstly, here's a quick 30-second recap in case you missed my previous video. This is the first time Universal is building a land based on Jurassic World and not Jurassic Park. Here there are mountains with waterfalls, there's a forest, the huge Jurassic World entrance gates, and the Jurassic World Innovation Center. One of the major rides is going to be an inverted roller coaster, which will go around land, as you saw, like a pteranodon. There'll also be a zone called the Aviary. There's also going to be an indoor play area called Camp Jurassic. And then finally, the flagship ride of the land and perhaps the whole park is Jurassic World Adventure. In my previous video, I said I thought that the Jurassic World Innovation Center that I mentioned earlier looked like it would be similar to the Jurassic Park Discovery Center at Universal Orlando, which has some walkthrough exhibits. But I think that's actually going to be in the building where the aviary is. And now that I've had a closer look, it looks like the Jurassic World Innovation Center is actually the ride entrance to Jurassic World Adventure. So here's a look at the rendering. We can see that there's the pyramid-like structure directly connected to this large show building behind it. And this looks roughly around the same footprint as the Forbidden Journey building at the back there to give you a scale of the ride. A quick note to say that all the leaked stills in this video come from a Japanese account called Scoop Universal and also a couple of them from themeparkx.com, which are both following the construction of this new Chinese park. Having said that, the actual photos themselves, they come from various Chinese social media channels, so I'll leave all the watermarks so you can see the original place that these photos are from. Going back to the rendering, I think that rendering actually makes the building look a lot smaller and shorter than it is. So here's a view from the back of the park, and there you can really see the scale and the height of the building. Here's a look at the plans of the park above, so you can see the show building right there, and then some construction progress of that ride entrance with the Jurassic World Innovation Center, which looks pretty much complete from the outside. So the ride is going to be a Jeep-like all-terrain vehicle ride into the area where the dinosaurs are roaming free, so they're paddocks. We'll start off with the ride vehicle. We have quite a few photos of that ride vehicle, and Universal is going to be using the same design of vehicles that they use on The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man and Transformers. And Spider-Man is in my top 3 rides anywhere in the world, so the idea that this is basically a Jurassic World version of Spider-Man I think is super exciting. We'll see later that they have, I think, upgraded these ride vehicles. They're not exactly the same as the ones on the previous generation. So let's take a quick look at what Universal has officially shown us, and there's this little video just to show you that, and then we'll have a look at the photos from the inside. So that's all we've got. It's not very much, so we'll have a look at some of the concept art for this attraction, and I think this concept art, this image really sums up really well what we're going to see in the next few leaked photos. So we have that same ride vehicle I was mentioning with the 3 rows of 4 people. It's not exactly the same as the other ride vehicles, as we'll see later, and actually this concept art isn't very accurate when it comes to the vehicles. So here it looks in the concept art like the back and the sides of the ride vehicle are lower than your head, so that you'll be able to look around more, but that's not actually really the case. They will be having higher sides, as we'll see later, and as this ride is going to have screens, one of the things that I think that really makes this ride vehicle one of my favorite ride vehicles is that it has quite a narrow field of view. You're only looking at what Universal wants you to look at. The other thing we can see is that it looks like the dinosaurs are actually invading the park. So this isn't their enclosure. We can see that there's this building smashed around the guests and there's cables everywhere. I think we can expect story-wise that we're going to be starting off going into the dinosaur enclosure to see it, and then at some point we'll be back in the park in Jurassic World, and the dinosaurs have escaped and they're roaming free. And actually Universal makes that really obvious, because on the right there you have the T-Rex is literally coming out the doors and the gates to the T-Rex kingdom. So potentially, as this actually happens in the first Jurassic World film, we could be looking at a retelling of that film or some of the key scenes from that film making it into this ride. Now, these next photos and images are from inside the ride, so we'll start off with images that came out in July, so you'll see how things have come along in the past few months as we go through the photos. We start off with a better look here at the ride vehicle and the ride path. It looks like here it's either docked at an unload platform or the load platform, or very possibly an evacuation platform during the ride itself. So you can see what I mean about the size of the vehicle here. They definitely aren't below your eye level like they are in the concept art. In this photo, we can see the ride vehicle from behind, and it looks huge here. And we can really see how far off the ground the ride system allows the vehicles to get. So we're going to be going through rugged terrain. You're going to feel it a lot on this ride. I'm not even sure if the Transformers and Spider-Man vehicles can go this high up. I do wish they'd gone for ride vehicles that looked more like the Jeeps, to be honest, or done some other theming to them. But I guess you'll never see these vehicles really from the outside, apart from when you're getting on and off. And then we have these two other photos from July which show some of the set pieces along the ride route. It looks like there's a Jeep and the other is a Velociraptor transportation vehicle. So neither of these are fully built. If you have a good look, you can see that we have the front side of them, we have the two wheels, and because the work lights are on, you can see there are no back wheels, there's no back to these vehicles. So I think these are definitely lightweight enough that they are going to be maybe racing alongside you, so going around the track, or they'll move and shake as the Velociraptors are escaping, or the Jeep might be backing up. We'll have to see, but these, in my opinion, look like they're definitely going to be moving. So let's look at some more recent photos. These came out only about 24 hours ago. So here we can see a ride vehicle basically on the ground with a person next to it for scale. We can see some rockwork theming to the left, and of course, your ride vehicle will be high enough here and tilted in such a way that you'll see the rock work, but not the track area, of course. The other thing here is that to the left of the photo, we have what looks like a huge white wall when you're just looking at it. And I don't think it's a white wall. I think it's a screen that we'll be having the media projected onto. It very much looks like that material that you would do that on, and you wouldn't choose to have a huge white wall on a dark ride with just some rock theming at the front of it. It would just be really obvious on a dark ride. You would theme this to a dark color. So to have such a bright white wall, this is definitely a projection screen, I think. And finally, we can see that the Velociraptor vehicle from the previous photo is in the background of this one. So this scene is either immediately before or immediately after. I don't know that the ride vehicle is necessarily facing the correct direction here, so we can't really discern which way it would be traveling. But you haven't seen any dinosaurs yet. Don't worry, here they come. So I really think this is going to be something along the lines of Spider-Man mixed with dinosaur mixed with Jurassic Park River Adventure. And looking at the next set of photos here, that's exactly what we're going to get. And I'm going to say this right now, I am not a dinosaur expert, so I may well get their names wrong here, and if I do, please do correct me in the comments. I'd like to know what they actually are. In this first photo, this to me looks like a T-Rex, a huge one at that. We can see that the animatronic part of it is complete and that they've actually started adding the dinosaur skin, if you want, to make it look like the T-Rex. Looking at the angle that the dinosaur is at here, it looks like it's going to be able to get really close to the ride vehicles, which I think is great. As I say, I think this is going to be a really intense experience. In the next photo, we have a different dinosaur. This one also looks ready to go visually. After a little bit of research, this looks like it's an ankylosaurus, and I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that the tail that you can see at the back there, that's going to be sort of swinging towards the ride vehicle, getting really close as well. And then finally, we have a really, really big dinosaur here in this last photo. I think this is an Indominus Rex, so it's a carnivore. I can see this one basically appearing almost like a jump scare, like during Jurassic Park River Adventure before the drop, or in Dinosaur right at the end of Disney's Animal Kingdom. And we actually have a photo to put this into context. So either right before this or right after this, we're going to see the destruction of the IMAX cinema with this set piece here. I'm hoping they'll have some Velociraptor animatronics as well, and they're not just using those on screen, as I think they're definitely some of the scariest dinosaurs in the films because they're so small and fast and they can hide anywhere. I really think this is just obviously, of course, just a small snippet of what's coming. Before you go, I'm thinking of making a video looking at the rest of the construction progress of Universal Studios Beijing, more generally with a look at the different rides and different lands, because there are a ton of construction photos out there. If that's something you're interested in, do let me know in the comments, and by leaving a like on this video as well. If you want to keep updated on the progress of this ride, Universal Beijing Resort, and other Universal Disney and theme park stories like the Velocicoaster that's coming to Orlando, or Super Nintendo World, which is coming to Japan in about 2 months, then hit the subscribe button. Also, please take 1 second just to hit the like button. That really helps me out and usually convinces YouTube to recommend this video to other theme park fans as well. I've got loads of other videos on my channel, so do check those out after this one. And if you're planning on visiting Disney or Universal theme parks, do check out the link in the description to my travel guidebooks. Let me know what you think of this new Jurassic World ride in the comments. I've been Gio for Independent Guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.